I joined the MAC in 2012. It took us 2 lotteries to get in. So this was the second one, and during the lottery pick, our number came up, and my good friends were here, and they immediately gave us a tour of the club, and they took us right down to the racquetball courts, and they were like, as soon as you join, we want you to come down, we want you to try the sport. I joined the league right away, promptly lost every match, but I loved that feeling of hitting the ball, and the people down there were so friendly. I started coming down 2, 3 nights, 4 nights a week, practicing, getting better. To play racquetball is very active. It's an anaerobic sport. You're playing against opponents, so there's that anticipation and that kind of anxiousness that comes with competing that just gives you an elevated sense of focus. I love being able to get on the court, think about the strategy, the shots that I'm going to hit, and it's very cathartic, especially after a stressful day at work, to be down on the courts playing. Everything else leaves your mind. You are just there. It's the ball, it's the opponent, and you're able to really kind of lose yourself in the sport. So I continue to get a lot of inspiration from the folks here at the MAC, as well as from my parents. They never questioned whether or not we would do sports. It was, which sport are you going to do? You didn't have a choice. It was just, the choice was which sport. As soon as I get here, it's like right even before I'm entering the doors, I just have this lift. It just feels great. Like my tiredness goes away, my attitude improves. I love this place. Winning the Loprinzi Award would be very rewarding and meaningful for me, especially doing something that just comes naturally and is helping a sport that I love so much. I think it would really be an appreciation of the friendships, the sense of community, everything that I've found at the MAC and at racquetball.
As I was entering high school, I was interested in trying a sport, and I was talking to my allergist about sports that might be a good fit for me. He said, swimming is good for people with asthma. The humidity near the surface of the water traps allergens, and I knew that I couldn't do land-based sports. I would always have asthma attacks. After college, decided to try for the Olympic team. Ended up winning my first national championship, qualifying for the Olympic team, winning a gold medal in the Olympics, and then continuing to compete on the national team for the next 3 years. People often ask me about the Atlanta Games. Oh, it's too bad, you had to swim in your own country, you didn't get to travel somewhere interesting, but I had quite the opposite experience. I remember walking out from the ready room, I had the American flag on my cap, and as soon as my cap hit the light as I was entering the pool deck, I heard the crowd just erupt in a huge cheer. And it was just the most amazing feeling of swimming for my country. That feeling will never leave me. Competing for the MAC in many ways feels a lot like competing for United States swimming, in the sense that there's just this enormous long-ranging legacy of excellence. When you have the MAC logo on, you just feel like you're channeling the folks who have their medals and bios posted. You feel like you're channeling Joe Loprinzi, and it feels just like you're doing something bigger than yourself, and I really cherish that feeling. If you'd told me when I was winding up my competitive swimming career 25 years ago that in my 50s I would be traveling to swim meets, cheering on teammates, shaving down for big races, and trying to gun for records, I would have told you were crazy. This team has been such a motivation, and it's just been really fun to be oriented towards a goal and a member of a team. Most importantly, to be cheering on my team members and seeing their successes. It's just been super rewarding. This award is so important, I think, as a representation of what it means to be a fulsome member of the MAC. I think about Joe Loprinzi's legacy. The first thing I think is how much I wish I could have met him. He just sounds like an incredibly inspirational figure, and to channel a little bit of that spirit through what I contribute at the MAC would be the highest honor I can imagine.
I started gymnastics, I think it was in 3rd or 4th grade. It was like 8 years ago. My parents were like, this kid has way too much energy. One sport is not enough. So I did like a parkour class here at the MAC. I'd tried a bunch of other things, but I tried parkour and I was like, wow, this is really fun. And then I went into gymnastics later that year, I think. and I stuck with it. And then COVID hit, and every single one of the older boys in gymnastics, they all either went to other sports or a different gym. I ended up being one of the oldest boys in the gym, and I just had me and the other kids my age, and then most of them left as well. I've spent most of gymnastics being like the senior in the gym. So I've tried to, in recent years since we started building the program back up, I've tried to be that person that I never had for the kids who are younger than me, and like try and be the one who inspires them and makes them be like, wow, I want to keep doing this sport. Because it was also a lot harder to continue wanting to do the sport, and you're like, you didn't really have a visual of where you could go. Basically everyone in gymnastics has inspired me. My teammates, they do a lot of the same things for me as I do for them. Like anytime I ring the gong, they're all cheering, they're always pushing me, they're always trying to make me go and push my limits. And also trying to be an idol for the kids who are younger than me also pushes me. So in that way, the younger kids are inspiring me too. I'd say the gymnastics gym is the most supportive community I've ever been a part of. I mean, the MAC has given me so many opportunities. I don't have words that I can think of to describe how much the people mean to me. That's like asking me how much does my family mean to me? Like, they're my family. I can't describe that any better. They're just everything. With gymnastics, the failing over and over again, when you finally succeed, there is nothing better. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to watch your teammates do that. It's so much fun to feel that yourself. Like I could do this every single time. And I've always wanted to fly, and gymnastics is the closest thing I've ever felt to being able to actually do that.
So I grew up playing, I think I had a tennis racket in my hand probably by the age of 5, and was inspired by like Billie Jean King and Yvonne Goolagong and Chris Everett. And when I went to high school, I went away to a prep school, and the squash coach had just graduated. So he walked down to the tennis courts, and he was watching some people play, and he said, why don't you follow me? I'm going to introduce you to a new sport. And it was perfect for me. I was lucky enough to then play in college, and really just kind of went from there. After college, I just love the sport, and so I continued to play. So one of my favorite memories was being able to participate in the Maccabiah Games, which was in Israel. The Maccabiahs are for Jewish athletes to participate in the games. And so I participated and made the U.S. squash team for that. For me, it was an incredible experience. First time I played squash internationally, truly inspirational to just sort of be with everybody, not just your own country at that point. I think the best way to describe it is I feel a little bit like a kid in a candy store. I just feel like this is such an incredibly great sport. Like, I'm lucky to play this sport. The geometry in squash makes it very cool. There's a tin in the front, so you can't just hit as low as possible, and that, as a result, brings up this geometry because you're using walls. So I like the analytical part of it, and then I think the reason I love it physically is it brings out the athleticism that I so enjoy, and I can just feel it so deeply. Frankly, I feel incredibly lucky. I didn't know moving to Portland initially I was going to even be a part of this. And for squash, the highest levels are usually on the East Coast, and it's come to the West Coast, but so there's always this, for a while I was like, I gotta move back because I'm not getting enough. But the level here and up and down the West Coast has improved. It really says what they're after. The MAC truly does believe in athletics as a lifetime type of thing. And it's very family oriented. I mean, they want you to bring your kids in and be a part of it. I've been able to be a part of a tremendous community that has grown. I think winning the Joe Loprinzi Award would mean to me how lucky I've been to be active in athletics my whole life.